Good morning and afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Snowbear22, joined by Tomcat Tomato as my co-commentator. And
Good
today,
evening.
we have a good race on our hands. We got 4 veterans here. We got Easton, Kevin, Athena, and Picolax. And we are going to be having some exciting times. We got a decent card and some good ROMs, or a good ROM. And we have our runners ready to go. We are just going to start on the hour mark. And so, what are you
One more
hoping for
minute.
today? What kind of excitement are you hoping for today, Tom?
I think it's going to be a pretty close race between all 4 of these, or it could be. I'm hoping to see some meme strats. That's always nice.
Ah, yes, meme straps are good.
And
All right,
I think we'll see some different starters because Kevin likes to take a different one
I think so too.
from other people.
Not to rush
So
you,
it
but
should
we're
be.
almost there. So why don't we give the runners a countdown? Because we're
Yes, I'll do the
almost
countdown.
there.
Countdown in. Go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go.
Alrighty.
Ish.
We have now started the timer and the racers, and they're on their way. We're going to have, I think, some really exciting things. I'm hoping that we do have 4 different starter Pokemon. It's very rare for it to happen. Usually 1 or 2 people share one, but it'll be exciting. But we'll get our first look at the new starters shortly.
Let's see what Diamond Deities decide to get.
So, for those of you who are new, this is Pokemon Crystal, but all the moves have been randomized, the Pokemon slots have been randomized, Pokemon will find are randomized, and so the idea is to get 5 bingos, so that's either columns, diagonals, or rows, and once they get that, they'll mark themselves done and we'll bring them in. So we got Jumpluff as our first one, Growlithe, and Aerodactyl. I think most people are going to choose the Aerodactyl because that's one of our starters stronger starting pokes, but they do have to release the starter though. So we'll see if anyone chooses something different.
Let's do Aerodactyls, Growlithe.
So one of the reasons why, for example, Easton got Growlithe is to evolve it. But it looks like Kevin and Easton, who both chose Growlithe, got lucky and they have their Pokemon has Protect, Detect, Endure, which is a goal that's really rare to come by. So
I wonder if someone's going to reset for that.
We'll see.
It doesn't look like it. Could have been an option.
I think they're gonna understand that they picked one. So all of them have chosen Night. It looks like Athena is going to reset and choose a different starter. Uh-oh.
Yeah, he wants the goal. It's too good of a goal to get.
Yep. So unfortunately Athena did not save before picking a Pokemon, so he has to actually redo all of the options.
Yeah, he's losing a good minute and a half here. But it could be worth it for Protect, Detect, Endure because it is a hard goal to get sometimes.
It can be. Definitely can be. So, the interesting thing is to find which Pokemon they're going to be maining because they're not going to be able to run their starter unless they want to give up that goal. Huh.
I haven't actually seen the moves of the Aerodactyl yet, but...
Well, that's interesting. I guess the Growlithe came with an Ultra Ball, or it must have been one of the first items they picked, because it looks like they already... Kevin caught one. Or Nidorino.
Actually, that's a good point from chat. They have to release the starter, so they're going to lose the move goal as well.
Oh, yes.
So it's not necessarily... but Athena's going for the evolution poke.
Well, which in this case will also have Protect, Detect, Endure. So we're finding some different Pokemon that could be on the card. For example, we have Flaffy, Skiploom as one goal. Hitmonchan, Lee, and Hitmontop is another one. And we had Picolax who caught a Lugia, which could also be a goal on the card, but it's also often one of the stronger starting pokes. But one of the things that's really interesting about running legendaries is not only do they have a harder time make leveling, they also learn fewer level up moves, which means if they don't have a good starting set, you may be hard pressed to go through the game with it, especially since there's 20 TMs on the card. So they're not going to be able to teach that many TMs.
Right, everyone just about ready getting the Pokédex except for Athena, who's not that far behind, so it's not like he lost a great deal of time yet.
Nope, not at all. But it's interesting to see their routes. And the Lugia looks sort of promising, which is always good. But as Chad pointed out, Alakazam had teleport. Ooh. So I don't know if he caught it or not, but that's good to know as well.
I think Easton wants to check out the Machoke. Could be a runnable poke.
It also could be potential in the card, but not today. Oh, that
is not a good Machoke.
Lugia has some interesting movesets. I wouldn't call it great. I mean, it gets better with return, but Lugia is actually one of the more defensive pokes. So it's bulky, but it doesn't have that high of a attacking stat compared to other fellow legendaries.
Yeah, bulky pokes are usually good to get through a bingo, because they don't need to be as good as like glass cannons. They need better moves.
Yeah.
But they're usually a bit slower. Yeah. Take some extra turns.
I mean, it's a good kind of mixture of stuff. Trying to figure out, for example, you either want to highly value attack and speed, or you want to highly value your defenses and your HP. So it's sort of a gamble. And I have to say that's an interesting Alakazam. Definitely a physical one, which is unfortunate because...
It always is a physical one.
Because Alakazam does not have a high attack. So, it makes it harder to use him.
As far as I know, it doesn't learn a lot of moves early on either, so it's probably not a good idea to use that as a main.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it's just kind of as a temporary thing. But that Nidorino seemed pretty interesting. I mean, if they get an early Moonstone, it might be worth just evolving it quickly.
Oh, Pikalag's doing Garf strats. Just checking what the
so for those who are kind of new, Garf strats is talking to the first person who teaches you how to catch a Pokemon by throwing the Pokeball. Most of the time, most people don't run it, but it's called Garf strats because it's named after one of the runners in the community, Garfield Line, who by accident said yes to him. So it's sort of kind of been a meme. And we have
Easton's got a Snorlax.
Easton catching a Snorlax, and he's naming it Herc because that's another one of our runners who...
He might try to force that. It's not
really
great,
like,
but it could do.
Sorry. Who likes Snorlax as well as his favorite Pokemon.
Seeing finding a Weezing, that could be a poke to run if he's desperate enough.
Yep. Yeah, so it's usually a struggle, especially when you can't keep a really good starting Pokemon to find one. Sometimes you'll find people going into Route 46, which is through that guardhouse on Route 29. Those are lower level Pokemon, but you have another
Athena
fresh
found Weezing with Detect on it.
Oh!
So even when he releases his starter, he'll still have that goal. That is very good.
That's a good eye. That is so exciting. So that will help him because he can not only evolve his Growlithe, he can release it, which it would be his Growlithe is a starter, so he can have one evolution counted, as well as releasing the starter to be able to kind of do all of Row 2.
It looks like Cavan is going to skip the phone book trainer though, which is on the card.
Oh, that is... He can be very... That's youngster Joey, and he can be very scary. So the Pokemon's levels are still the same, but the Pokemon that they send out are randomized. So there's certain trainers that you... In the original game, for example, there's a fisherman on Route 32 that has a level 15 Magikarp. While it's not very threatening in the original game, a level 15 Pokemon, when you have Pokemon that around that level, can be very scary. So, it's good to remember that some of the original Pokemon Pokemon levels might come back to bite you later on.
Easton and Snorlax having a hard time running away from pokes. First an Alakazam and now an Electrode. It's tough being slow.
And we have Athena checking Route 46 for Pokemon. Do you want to talk about how the different Pokemon slots work in this game? Versus
well, first of all, he did just see a Piloswine, which is on the card. I think he's trying to hide the info on that. So that's on 46. So the way the slots work is every grass has 7 slots, of which I think 3 pokes are 20%.
2 pokes.
2 pokes, and 3 are 10%, and then that leaves 2 15%.
And every water
Sorry,
go on.
I'm sorry. Every water has 3 slots, of which one is 60%, one is 30%, and one is a 10%. And then there's fishing, which has 3 slots, and headbutt, which is a mystery to me.
Headbutt's a little bit confusing. They have several different slots. I don't know the percentages, but it's just really confusing. And there's also rock smash slots as well. So when you check the Pokédex, you're going to see anything that's either on a either on a surfing or grass tile, basically, or grass/cave tile. Anything else isn't going to be shown on the dex. And then we also have the bug catching contest, which is its own separate encounter table of 10 encounters of 10% rarity each.
It is said that it is indeed 10% or 10 encounters for 10%, but it feels like that's just not true when you get there.
Yeah, well, I mean, when they have equal probability of all of them showing up, it's hard to understand. It's hard to kind of figure out which ones are which.
Looks like Easton's using a repel early. Does not want to get more encounters. Cavan finding a Lepras, which could be a very good poke.
And Picolax catching that Celebi as well. So...
Ooh, he's in Dark Cave.
Yeah. Oh, and look, there's a Sandslash. That's in the corner. So that may...
Ooh,
he
I
may
wonder
try...
if he tries to hide the info.
I think so. So a lot of times people try to not catch one of the pokes that's early on to try to mind game their opponents, because everyone generally has an idea, can kind of generally figure out from the timing which routes you might be on. It can benefit you to keep the information to yourself and come back to it at a later time. For example, when you still have Fly. But there's also benefits of, for example, getting the goal on the card, because...
Cavan catching a ghost type poke there. He's the only one who saw that so far.
Absolutely. And we have our people... We have Picolax already releasing his starter Aerodactyl.
Gonna have a look at the 9, a Gyarados, who is a very, very tricky 9.
Oh, that
With
Mr. Viss had Toxic, so that's a really easy way of poisoning Sudowoodo.
Easton gets a lucky paralyze on the Gyarados and is able to beat it that way. With Thunder Punch Snorlax.
So Easton's already in the gym. So that's really exciting as well.
Faint attack. That's an okay move for Snorlax.
So we have the
damage.
black and white experience turned on. So for example, that means that lower level Pokemon, when they beat higher level Pokemon, they get a lot more experience. So that helps. That's why, for example, Easton was going in with a low-level Pokemon, hoping that it was something beatable, so he could kind of jumpstart his leveling process.
Kevin going to Ruins of Elf for a main. Looks like he's not happy with that leprosy caught.
I don't blame him. It has really only just Aurora Beam, so...
I'd run it.
I mean, I think it's useful, but... I think he's looking for a little bit more.
Yeah, he's looking for something a bit faster. And he's not finding it so far in Ruins of Elf.
Oh, look at that! A wild Sudowoodo.
He actually gets the burn.
So that's a really early one. So there is the static Sudowoodo. So even though it's not the static Sudowoodo, we count it as the actual Sudowoodo. But if you actually happen to find a Sudowoodo, for example, on a trainer in the wild, you can actually do the status conditions on it as well, and that will count. So a lot of these that are involve kind of static Pokemon, or things that are given part of the game, you have multiple ways of achieving it via getting what would have been the vanilla or original games way, or if you happen to find them on a trainer or in the wild. So it's really awesome to be able to have different ways of achieving goals.
Picolax also getting Houndour info in the Sprout Tower. That's if he's the only one to see that, that could be a very good info to get.
And he also caught Flareon, so Flareon is one of Kevin's favorite Pokemon. So he might be kicking himself for not quite going into the Sprout Tower for that. I have to say it's really interesting seeing the spread of how our runners are, because we have 3 of them kind of futzing around, trying to look for mains, and then we have Easton who is kind of blitzing through the card, or blitzing through the game.
Yeah, he seems to be quite content with the Snorlax. We might see him try for fishing strats, because it is a bit slow, and you do get hit a lot as a Snorlax, but so far it seems like he has the best main. Ooh, and the TM's Body Slam, which is really good. He's not gonna let go of the Snorlax now.
Yeah, but we'll have to wait and see if he uses it, because it may or may not be one that he finds randomly picking up. But Body Slam Snorlax is one of the strongest combinations of moves in Pokemon out there. Because you get that sweet, sweet stab bonus. And Snorlax has a pretty good attack stat.
And it gives him a pretty decent chance to paralyze the Sudowoodo later. Looks like Picolax is going for the Lugia.
And it seems Kevin is really struggling still. Trying to find something that's potentially runnable. I kind of feel bad for him because he's struggling so hard with it. But, you know, I'm sure he'll find something.
Trying to run a Fluffy?
I'm not really sure, to be honest. I think he's trying to run the Kangaskhan, or maybe not.
No, he's got the Fluffy as his main spot on level 7.
Ah, yes.
He's trying to get the experience on it.
Mm-hmm. But that's a pretty mean Gyarados. Oof! And critical hit. Crit. Ouch! And it looks like Picolax is kind of somewhat struggling against Elder Lee. Elder Lee is fairly well known for having tough Pokemon in these randomizers, but I think he's going to be able to do it.
It looks like this Golem is not doing a whole lot of damage against him, so he should be fine. Athena trying again to killed a 9. He does not want to go into the tower for XP.
And
Probably feels like he's far behind already.
oh, I'm sure he feels that way. I mean, Kevin's trying his best with the Lapras against that Gyarados, who has shown that he has Thundershock and I believe Zap Cannon. So that could be quite the threat. But we have Easton already going through the Union Cave and repelling.
Easton not picking up the old road, so he's definitely happy with his Snorlax now.
Yeah, but who's gonna go pick up that TM in the basement and hope it's maybe a duplicate of Faulkner's, or if not, just something he might be able to buy later to maybe use.
Oh, looks like he's going for it. He does need the TM now that he's used Faulkner's.
Oh, did he use Faulkner's?
Ooh, it's TM10. That is a guaranteed TM later in the game.
Oh, and Slash.
Oh,
Hmm.
someone's definitely going to teach that because they can get it back.
Absolutely. But I wonder if he has kind of a tinge of regret for already teaching it so quickly. Because Slash is almost as good as Body Slam, but you know, it's not that bad to have to grab an extra TM because there are more than 20 TMs around, and we have them all shuffle around, or at least the ones on the ground shuffled around.
I think for Snorlax, Body Slam would be better because you can be faster if you paralyze things.
That's true. And
Kevin's hoping for confusion luck, but he's not getting it.
yeah, Faulkner is doing a real nasty job of messing with all of our runners, or his Faulkner's gym at least.
Picolax getting past the 9 now with his over-leveled Lugia. No problems there.
Sorry, the level 9 is that first Pokemon, so that's the one that's the most rough, but I think everyone else is getting through it. Because Athena's gone through it, and Athena's off to, and just beat Faulkner.
21 minutes in. Usually you'd not be happy with that time at a Faulkner.
No. But we have Easton now in the bottom of the well, fighting the Rockets, and they seem to be presenting him no trouble.
Kevin getting past the 9 as well. Should be fine for the rest of the gym. Now it's looking at the 14 to see if that will pose any trouble. That's the last trainer in Slowpoke well.
And we see here the Sudowoodo on a trainer.
Another Sudowoodo.
So that might be interesting because they'll have a chance to do it on that to try to burn, paralyze, or poison it before going to the static.
No luck though. He had a 30% chance with that Body Slam and he got 4 attempts in, but he didn't get it.
I'm sure he'll try again for the static. Oh, an encounter in the well. That's really rare when you're first going through. That's sort of unlucky.
Easton might now think that Picolax got the Burn, Paralyze, Poison Sudowoodo in the well and that he's really far behind. Because he did not see it in the tower.
You know, it's possible, but, you know, I think generally Easton is one of the faster runners, so
That's true.
he may or may not make that conclusion, but that's a valid point. But I think Easton was pretty quick on, you know, going through stuff, so he might...
Yeah, that's true. It would have been an insanely quick Faulkner for Picolax to have been there.
Yeah, so I think it would have been a little bit too presumptuous. Yep, so we had the Helix fossil, sort of. We had the Omastar, and now we have the Dome fossil coming up in Kabutops. It's actually a little unfortunate that, that we didn't have the Omnite Articuno Kabuto goal, but considering Aerodactyl was our starter, it was probably for the best.
Athena doing fishing strats because he does not want to run that Flaffy if it is possible. Ooh, a Slowpoke is not great either. But it is an Evolved Poke.
But oh my goodness, look at that Mewtwo on the final rocket.
Megahorn. That is a 14.5.
I think our runners may not be happy.
He gets the paralysis and he beats it.
I don't think our runners will be very happy. The last time we had a troublesome level 14 was when we had that Blissey that was walling most of our runners there.
Yes, walled by Blissey.
So for those who may be veterans of watching this, or for those new, we just recently implemented a rule to prevent people from prematurely forfeiting, because our goal is to present our highest quality runs, and it's really unfortunate if a runner ends up getting frustrated and turning off the screen or closing their stream, because we want to make sure we have our 4 options available.
Kevin, find the Star U for Evolved Pokes.
That's a really good one because Stone Evolutions.
Or is that on a trainer? Ooh, he freezes it. No, it's not.
So Stone Evolutions are very good and easy to do because in this version of the ROM, you can actually buy all the stones in Golderon City's market. So it makes it a lot easier to evolve those Pokemon as you need. And for those wondering, so Easton chose to go left side with the left twin. With our randomizer, the twins actually have 2 different slots depending on which one you talk to. Because in the original game, they were actually coded as separate entities, but they switched, depending on which twin you talk to, they usually switch which Pokemon shows up first. But for us, because we're randomizing all of our trainers' Pokemon, that they actually can have 2 different sets of Pokemon entirely. So that's one of the more interesting things. And we see most runners go left side, left twin, because there's less Pokemon to fight. But occasionally you'll see them going right side on the gym because there's 1 additional Pokemon, and hence that means 1 additional possibility of seeing a Pokemon that's on the card. So part of the question is, weighing, losing a little bit of time to finding more Pokemon, or fighting more Pokemon, versus having potentially the upside of getting information that nobody else has.
Yes, having information nobody else has is one of the best things in this bingo. It means different paths will be available for you to finish. That being said, it looked like Bugsy has a Houndour, so the solo info Picalex has gotten in the tower is free for everyone.
However, going into the tower, it can be a little bit tricky because the tower actually has 2 different floors of encounters, so you never know which floor it is on.
Oh no, I mean, Picalex found a trainer with Houndour in the tower.
Ah, he found it.
He was the only one to fight that trainer, but apparently it's on Bugsy, so everyone's going to get the same info on that.
Ah, yes. Yeah, so, Easton has actually been speeding through. He actually finds ways of often beating Chuck in under 1 hour, which is a really good mark to have. And I think, considering how strong his Snorlax is, I wouldn't be surprised to see him beat Chuck under 1 hour this game too.
Yeah, there's not many side trainers on the card to do, so he's pretty much going straight towards Fly.
So Tom, do you want to talk about... Sorry.
This Snorlax is not going to have any problems.
So do you want to talk
Probably.
about... Right. Well, do you want to talk about kind of the different phases of this randomizer? Because we tend to have what we call 2 different phases, which is like kind of the initial phase and then the cleanup phase.
Right, so the initial phase is basically get to fly, fight the shiny, either catch it or kill it, and then that opens up the entire Johto side of the game. So people usually try to do that as quickly as possible without too many detours, gathering info from trainers along the way. And then afterwards, you can fly around and clean up all the goals you can easily do with all the info you found to try and make 5 bingos as efficiently as possible.
So interesting enough, so we got Pikalax who's trying to headbutt some new Pokemon because they have different slots, and trying to find maybe something most other people wouldn't do. Whereas we have Athena who had that Electrode and was able to poison the Sudowoodo and accomplish that goal as well. And it's really interesting that Athena's running the Starmie. Must have been a fishing encounter.
Yeah, I did not notice him picking it up, but I think it must have been.
So when you're fishing with the Old Rod in the cave, you're going to find Pokemon that are level 10. So that's a really good way of finding a new main if you don't really have a main by the time you get to that slot.
He just dodged a stab Mega Horn from the Spinnerack. That may have actually done some damage to him. So we got a little lucky there.
In the early game, actually moves...
Oh! The Mewtwo does indeed have Mega Horn. He might have to hope for a freeze with the Blizzard on the Mewtwo to be able to beat that.
And we have Kevin paralyzing the Sudowoodo with the Body Slam. So all 3 of our 4 runners have been able to get that goal done with quickly. But yeah, that level 14 with Mewtwo with Mega Horn.
Yes.
That's one of the strongest things. When Pokemon are lower level, oftentimes it's the power of the moves that determines whether you'll win or lose the fight. Whereas when you get into the later game, it's the Pokemon stats that more determine whether you'll win or lose a fight. So it's important to kind of get a mixture of both a good stat Pokemon and also have a workable move set.
Oof. There it is. Mega Horn. And
instant reset.
Starmie's gone. He also gets outsped by Mewtwo, so he needs to hope for a miss and a freeze to be able to get past this now.
Luckily, Mega Horn, I believe, has an accuracy of 85, which means it is a lot more often to miss. But, oh my gosh, it has Thunder as well?
Thunder.
Ooh.
Ooh, that is a Mewtwo, though.
Tom, I don't know what you did to this ROM, but you must have done something really evil to it. Because he's now leaving the well to heal up. And perhaps get an extra level or 2.
That is an insane Mewtwo. As the 14, it's really hard to beat that. I think he's just gonna grab as many pokes as he can from his PC. He's getting his old main back.
Yes, Link's Dark Half. We would all like that Mewtwo. Although, I don't know how much I would enjoy running it, because I'm sure you'll have accuracy issues. As I like to say, Thunder is less likely to hit than Zap Cannon. Which is well, Thunder has a 70% accuracy. It can often feel like a 50-50 shot.
I wouldn't care what the other 2 moves of this Mewtwo are. I would run it easy peasy.
Oh, and Kevin's Lapras has Mega Horn.
Oh, he does not quite one-shot it. Oh, he gets the miss. Alright, so Kevin gets past it. Because Thunder only has a 70% chance to hit.
And we have Easton at the book catching contest already.
Oh, and Athena gets walled even on the second main because of Dig.
Oof.
Oy.
Oh, and there's Kenya. It's Big Bear, or Bear, as they like to call it. Yeah, so my favorite
Wizard
Pokemon
Bear.
is Tardiursa, so I often like to run both Teddiursa and its evolution. But yeah, so that is a special attacking bear. Okay.
Picolax is going to get by just fine with some healing items.
It looks like the bug catching contest isn't giving us very many Pokemon that could potentially win.
Oh, there is one though.
Although that Meganium hopefully has enough HP to win the contest. So do you know a little bit about what determines whether a Pokemon has a higher chance of winning the contest or not?
I think it's pretty much HP and level. I usually just YOLO contest, honestly. Level 14 fully evolved Poke usually has a pretty decent chance to win.
Oof.
Ooh, but he didn't because he was against 2 pincers.
Unlucky.
Yikes. That's so contest can have depending on who you're up against, it could be easy or very hard. And 2 pincers are like one of the highest scoring.
Yeah, so
Pokes to be
the
against,
highest scoring ones are Beedrill, Butterfree, Scyther, and Pinsir. So they can be really hard to do.
Athena making some headway against the Mewtwo, gets a paralysis.
Oh, well, that Mewtwo got paralyzed on the attack damage part of the dig, so it
again.
lives.
He gets past it.
Whew.
Some skillful play of paralysis and reflect to get through the Mewtwo.
That Flaffy got quite a few levels from that. So we have a Noctowl there. That might be enough to win. Who know? One of the things is that the different Pokemon in the bug catching contest, some of them can be between level 9 and 18.
Level 7 even.
Oh, right. Well, so you have to be aware of kind of trying to find the higher level Pokemon if you're trying to win the contest. And it looks like...
And he did it.
It looks like, he won. Let's
see what he's up against. Butterfree, Scyther still, but this time he does win.
And I caught on the first time round. The TM that was actually in the bug catching contest was TM28, which is Dig. So we keep the field moves the same, so you can use them. So after he's done with this trainer, he may just go back and pick that TM up afterwards.
He's just trying to get the phone number from this trainer. It's one of the good phone book trainers with only 1 poke to fight.
So I don't remember how many slots are there in the Poke Gear. I've never really counted.
There's 10 slots, of which 2 are already filled, so you need 8 numbers. Because you start with Mom and Elm, and then you need to fight either 7 trainers and get Bill's number, or fight 8 trainers and get their numbers.
That's good to know.
And these runners have different strategies towards that goal usually. I think Picolax likes to get it as early as possible, so he'll fight all the early trainers with phone numbers, even if they have more than 1 poke. Kevin likes to go for the single poke trainers only, to save some time.
I mean, I think both of them are very good. Um, so how's our audio stream of the game sound? Are you able to hear it? And we have the Kingler with teleport. Well, that was an interesting encounter to see. Okay, so you guys can definitely hear that's good. I know the game sound is a little bit on the quieter side, so just wanted to make sure. My favorite part of listening to the game is trying to find out who the roamers are. So with the roaming Pokemon that is Entei, Raikou, and of course Suicune, who in this game is static, you'll hear the Pokemon they are, their cries. So you can often deduce who the roamers are by their cries. But with us today, because I'm not as good about identifying by their cries, we have a log of the game, so Tom and I can look at and find who they are to present that information to everyone here. And we have Picolax finding Zapdos in the forest.
Headbutt info, that is something nobody else is going to find, probably.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to be able to see that. Although he's taking a really interesting route of talking to the Farfetch'd. I believe that is the shortest route to do. But
it's the fastest route, but it skips the item, yes.
Yeah. Oh, look at that! A Hippotop on Kevin's side. It's a bummer it's not on the card, but that would have been really amazing as well.
Alright, Easton finishing up Whitney's gym now. He's going for that Sudowoodo. Finally get that goal. And everyone else has made it past Bugsy now.
That's a good point, Hater. I didn't realize that Vital Throw has a lower priority than Counter. That makes sense though, because Vital Throw always makes you go last. So, I guess if you're finding a Pokemon with Counter, you can just use Vital Throw on them and they'll be unable to return the damage to you.
Easton going for the haircut.
But yes, as some of you in the chat had noticed, the forest is really loaded today with several Pokemon goals in here. Which is really funny because I think most people tend to repel because of the encounter rating being so high. As I think Kevin's easily seen about 10 Pokemon encounters alone. And he's only about like halfway through.
he's even going for headbutt, so it's 2 or 3 encounters more than usual.
So I think most of the runners will have an idea about where Easton is because he picked up the haircut. They'll know that they're kind of behind him as he's leaving Goldenrod for the final time, or one of the not final time, but for the second time as he approaches the Sudowoodo.
Easton is definitely flexing right now because he knows no one else has gone to the contest yet.
Yeah, so he's gonna see if he can get the. Oh, that Sunkern has Endure. Ho ho ho! He can release his starter now. Not only can he evolve that,
and it's an Evo. Yes.
That's a real treat. So we've seen now 3 Pokemon with Protect, Detect, Endure. Although it's having a hard time to get into the ball.
Same for Athena and his Raikou. It's also gotten out of quite a few balls now.
So, for those who don't know, there's a reason why these runners have been choking Pokeballs when they have relatively higher health. Do you want to explain how minimum catch rate works for us?
Right. So basically, it doesn't work. But what it's supposed to do is instead of having the vanilla catch rate of pokes, which sometimes for things like legendary pokes, you just not be able to catch them with Pokeballs at the start. Everything has the same catch rate as a Caterpie, basically. So on full health, you'll have about a 1 in 3 chance of it getting in the wall.
And in addition,
theory.
all Pokeballs, or kind of Great Balls and Ultra Balls, act as Pokeballs, so you won't get extra guarantee. But what will help you guarantee is actually lowering the HP of the Pokemon. When they're about half health, you're almost guaranteed, I think, to catch it. One of the few exceptions as for us is that the level ball acts as a master ball. And
East cannot paralyze the Pseudo because it dies in one hit. And it has Detect.
I think Easton's a little bit more mad that it's a Gloom. So one of the things about Gloom is it's been showing up in a lot of randomizers he's been playing, or races he's been playing lately. So he's made quite a point that he does not like the Gloom because it's not particularly good to run stat-wise, and even if it has a good moveset, it's very fragile and it has lots of weaknesses. Although this one's being a real big troll with its Detect. But he finally gets it.
He gets the Paralyze. 10% with Thunder Punch. And it's an Evolve poke, so he's catching that.
Our runners have not found any lack of stun evolution Pokemon. I think we've seen at least 5 or 6 at this point.
Cavan's already done a couple. Evolved this Poliwhirl into a Poliwrath.
So do you want to take a look at what those market TMs are? Oh, okay, so the market TMs are Leer, I think Thunder Punch, and I believe Bite, because it's 33, 41, and 48. So Thunder Punch is actually a good TM to buy, but what our runners see is they see description of the moves. So it can be sort of hard to deduce what certain moves are based on their description. For example, Can Paralyze can be multiple different moves from, for example, Spark to Zapcan. Oh, I think Zapcan might be a little bit different, but from Spark to Body Slam to even Thunder Punch. So you never know. Although there's some of them that are more obvious. For example, there is one move that says kicking twice, or a kicking move that hits twice, which you can pretty easily deduce is double kick, or a move that may raise all your Pokemon's stats, and that one you can pretty much deduce is also Ancient Power. And oh my goodness, Kenya has self-destruct. That is one scary bear, I have to say.
Picolax getting the Meganium as well in contest, but level 17, so that's a guaranteed win.
Absolutely. You know, I'm wondering if Easton's gonna skip on the 20 different TMs, or if he's just gonna pick it up later.
Well, so far he does not have the poke info for to get the bingo, so he might just skip it for now and only get the easy to get TMs.
So
Cavan evolving 4 pokes.
Yeah, he had some very quick stone Pokemon, so I don't think the other runners will be able to deduce where he got that Wigglytuff, because I don't think any of them saw Jigglypuff.
Well, I'm watching the race and I don't know where he got it, so...
I don't remember either. I did remember seeing it. It might have been in I believe it was Ilex Forest. Either that or Union Cave. I'm more leaning towards the forest in that case, because we've been saying that the forest was loaded. And we have
finds
chat
Meganium as
confirming
well.
that it is indeed
Level
the forest.
16. So that should be an easy contest for Kevin as well.
And it looks like Easton's not pulling a snow bear. He is in fact getting surf. I have to admit, in one of my most recent races, I totally skipped the kimono girls and surf. So by the time I went to Olivine Water, I went to go teach a Pokemon Surf, and I was really awakened to the fact that I hadn't even done any of the kimono girls. That was quite an unfortunate bike back. Oof, that Rattata's doing pain split just to put injury or salt in the wounds there that he couldn't run away, taking whatever HP he could.
Alright, Surfing Snorlax, that's vanilla.
I believe it can learn in the vanilla game, but yes. Oh, we have Pikalat's grabbing the random TM, which is actually TM21. That's really
Another
funny.
Mewtwo. Level 20 this time. It's back.
Oh, goodness gracious. Tom, what have you done to this?
I'm going to have to apologize to our writers for this ROM.
They may or may not...
Athena has the same starter as Easton, so he's not going to be too happy seeing that with his Starmie.
Oof. But it's really interesting. Picolax picked up that Houndour. I didn't see where he picked it up from. I guess it was 35, but maybe Kevin will be able to metagame out what it was.
He is on 35 right now, so if it's there, could be. But it could also have been on 36 or even in the contest. So I don't know.
I think he knows it's probably not in the contest because it wouldn't win the contest. But there it is.
You just found it. So Kevin doing very well on Pokegoals this ROM.
Yes, so
he also had the Ghost type on 46 that no one else saw.
Despite his early struggles, Kevin's really picking it up. I mean, he's only slightly behind, you know, Picolax in terms of story progress. While Easton has kind of jumped ahead with everyone else with story progress, but unfortunately he doesn't have that many Pokemon calls, so he might have a hard time figuring out where these are. But we have the roamers now. Audio's on Kevin, but do you want to let the viewers know who the roamers are today?
Alright, so we have Raycow as Fanpy, Entei is a Quillfish, and Suicune is a Kakuna. So not very useful for this card.
Yeah. But do remember, everyone, if they find the roamer, that actually also counts as a Suicune, Raikou, Entei on our goals. And our roamers actually don't run at the first, don't run like the normal games. Actually, the funny is, so they actually will stick around. The only time that the roamers will actually run is if they happen to be vanilla. But I still have yet to see any of that actually them actually run despite being vanilla.
They could also have Teleport or Whirlwind or Roar or Self-Destruct or Explosion to make your life miserable. Which is slightly less rare than them being their same poke.
Yeah. Although more often than not, they seem like they're really easy to beat. Even when you're like 15 levels below, it's pretty common for them to be, you know, having really weak moves.
Cena losing the contest there. The Iggly buff, did I just see that?
I don't know. I to be honest didn't catch. I was more watching Easton as he's almost done, or as he's going through Morty's gym. I don't think he'll be able to sub 1 hour Chuck today. Well, that's a level 18 Kakuna. I definitely don't think that's gonna win.
It could be if he gets an easy contest. It could...
Oh my goodness! Lapras is gonna be
endure.
That goal is so free.
But he'll get to see the Sudowoodo have it as well, so he's going to be happy he didn't teach it to his Lapras.
Assuming he doesn't run away right away.
That is true. He does not need the evolve poke anymore, so he might not care.
It'd be very unfortunate if he were to run without seeing that move. Although Lapras is pretty slow, he might be prevented from running.
Not against the Gloom. I doubt that. Well, we're gonna see what he does. He's just going up there right now.
And meanwhile, Easton is tackling the gym leader, Morty.
It's Electabuzz info.
That's always useful. For him. And Athena's trying the contest again. So we'll see.
She's a Noctowl that won. Ooh, level 14 could win.
Oh, we have. Ooh, and Pikalax runs away from the Gloom. So he's not going to have that information, nor will Kevin. And we have Athena trying for level 14. We have Athena trying for a level 14 Noctowl. Let's see if that wins. Oof! Second place.
Oh my god, he's getting very unlucky.
Yeah, that was 2 pincers as well.
So one of the other runners won with a level 14 Noctowl earlier, so definitely can win. You just need to not run into the good opponents there.
Level 14 Meganium. I think that has a higher chance of winning.
Although Ethan lost his first contest with a level 14 Meganium, so you never know.
That's true. Oh, that Mew has magnitude. It was a wild Mew. So
maybe Athena just wants to live in the contest so he doesn't have to face that Mewtwo later.
Although, what's really interesting about the route that Easton's on is I believe there's 3 different phone number trainers on that one. One of them actually gives you, it calls you to tell you about Moo Moo Milk. And I can't remember what the other 2 call you about. I think one of them might be a swarm.
No, the swarm guy is on 35.
Well, there's a couple different swarm guys. There's one that's on 35. There's the fisherman on Route 32 that tells you about quillfish. But yeah, that's really interesting. And I believe the last one it might be Hiker Anthony who talks to you about Dunsparce swarms.
Oh, that is true. Yes, there's.
I think those are the 3 ones, but I don't remember. There's a bunch of different. The ones who call you, some of them are for battle rematches. Some of them are for items like evolution stones. So you don't really see.
That's the only thing I use it for in vanilla.
So yeah, you don't always get to see them, but it's good information to know on the other hand.
Now the Easton's looking like a 104-ish fly, which is pretty good.
Yeah, so keep in mind, when we initially I guess we started almost a little more than a year ago. So may have been at least a year or two ago. The average race was about 2 hours. Was really fast, I believe, 2 hours to 2 hours and a half. Most of our people have played so much now that about an hour and a half is considered a really good time, and it's kind of more the average. So it's really interesting to see, how everyone's gotten better. So the overall competition has kind of leveled up. I myself am more notorious for my 2-hour seeds. That's why I've been banned from making ROMs from the weeklies, because it was either really hard to find a main starter Pokemon, or they have to go to places such as the Whirl Islands, aka Meme Islands, to find Pokemon goals.
Yeah, I think they're not going to be too happy with me for this ROM either.
Yeah.
Alright, he's getting shocky. Let's see what it is.
Fortress. Okay. So,
Very useless.
Kevin, I believe, not Kevin, sorry, Tomo told me about this, but this is one of the more interesting fact, is apparently, so most of the time that Chucky is Shuckle in the original game, but if you happen to get a Shuckle earlier in the game, it actually does not have the probability, it does not have the chance of making a berry into berry juice or a rare candy until you've gone to Goldenrod.
That is true.
So, it just seems so weird, because you're not originally going to get it in the original game before you're way past Goldenrod, but, it makes me wonder why they said it as Goldenrod.
Yeah, doesn't make sense, but it's Pokemon. It doesn't have to.
Yeah, and that Hypno is being really mean, burning the Snorlax. So not only does it do burn damage, it also reduces your attack as well.
When he's learning Spider Web, what a move. Kevin seeing the Mewtwo now. Let's see how he responds to that.
Well, he responds with a Mega Horn, because I guess that Mewtwo decided to learn Poison Gas.
That's a good response. Oh, the thunder hits him though, but he's fine.
I'm more willing.
One trainer away.
I'm more excited to see what Athena's response is, because Athena may not be faster than that Mewtwo. It'll be close. I mean, Starmie is one of the fastest Pokemon, but I don't know if the level difference is going to be enough to overcome the speed difference.
I don't think so. He's only 2 levels higher. I think Mewtwo is gonna be a problem for him again.
And meanwhile, we have Easton going almost at Chuck, and we have Pikalax going to, well, grab the item finder. But he's gonna go to Morty pretty soon as well. So it's interesting. He was checking the Chikorita to see where it's at.
There's Athena walking his Starmie to certain doom.
So there's the roamers. If you caught it, but boyo, oof, that's one shot.
He does outspeed it, but ooh.
Luckily though, you can buy revives in Ekritique, so hopefully he bought some revives.
I think he did. I think I saw him going into the mart, which usually means
yes.
Oh, and he has a revival herb, so that helps.
Yeah. So, crisis averted. Do you want to explain what Kevin's doing right now?
Right, Gavin's trying to find one of the roamers. So when you release the roamers, they will move one step away from Aquatique, which could be either 42, whatever route he's on now, I think it's 37, or to the left of Aquatique. So he's hoping that one of the roamers move down here so he can find it and defeat it for a defeat level 40 Pokemon goal, for which you otherwise have to do several trainers or an entire gym to get that.
I don't think
But
Kevin
he did.
realized that the repel ran off. So the reason why he saved before going to roamers is, I believe, they have a chance of running away after several minutes, and so kind of refreshing the probability that they're in the certain spot. And we have an hour 4-minute fly from Easton, or hour 3-minute. So that's still pretty good. So it'll kind of, he's into his cleanup phase, as we call it.
He's moving through Mount Mortar instead of surfing, which is faster if you don't get encounters.
Oh, and there's that Sunkern again, showing its
he already
face
has
up.
that. Kevin's still not getting a roamer, doesn't look like it.
You know, I wonder if our runners will realize that Quillfish is one of the roamers from hearing the sound of the cry and fighting one in the gym.
I don't know about Picalex, but I know Athena knows most of the cries, if not all. And Easton does not, and Kevin, I think, only knows the Gen 1 pokes best. So I don't think any of them know, except for Athena. But he's already in the gym, so he's not going to bother checking. Kevin,
do they still run even if you enter the gym?
I don't know.
I guess that's a good question to ask some of the people who kind of modify the stuff. So funny thing is that you can actually dig out of Burn Tower without talking to Usain there. It doesn't really do anything. I guess it saves you a few text boxes, but...
Yes, and a possible encounter for those 5 steps you have to take. Kevin really wants this though, because it's a corner goal and he has a lot of goals connected to it already for a bingo. But he's not getting lucky.
And we have Easton. Oh, Kevin did find the roamer. The roaming Fanpy.
You got the Fanpy, level 40.
Ooh, and you swagger.
Ooh.
So, you know, Fanpy is actually one of the most one of the slowest Pokemon. I think it has a base speed of like 40 or 50. It's really slow. So, you know, it's something to be outsped by Fanpy, even though Lapras is one of the slower Pokemon.
Oh, there it is, he gets the goal.
And on Easton's side, you have the shiny Gator. It looks pretty teal to me today. And purple.
It's not one of the worst shinies indeed.
At least it's visible. So a lot of people are asking, you know, how do you, when there's a goal on the card that says shiny, how are you going to get the shiny? Well, the red Gyarados is actually guaranteed shiny. So, a lot of times, people don't realize that, but because all the Pokemon are randomized, whatever Pokemon gets left into that slot is actually going to be the shiny form of it. Although sometimes, there's some Pokemon with shiny forms, you could hardly tell if they're shiny or not.
I think for Smeargle, what's shiny in Gen 2 is the normal sprite for later gens.
There's a bunch of them that have only a slight different color palette swap, because there's not that many colors in Crystal. It's hard to sort of distinguish between some of the Pokemon and the normal forms and their shiny forms. We have Easton going to already picking up the experience share. So what we have is
some info for us.
So what we have in this is called rocket skip. So normally in the original game, you have to go down, beat the electrodes, go to the radio tower, beat the rockets there, and then face your rival. But because we have it sort of, we're given, for example, the clear bell and the lift key. So you don't actually have to do that. The world is really open to you after you beat the shiny, because then you could proceed to, Blackthorn if you want, or any other place.
Yep, Lance just asks you if you want some of his garbage, and you get all the key items you need. And Easton's now going to try and clean up as fast as possible with the info he's gotten, which is not that much, I think, so he's probably going to have some gaps.
Well, we'll see if he goes for that random TM in round 35 and maybe realize that's where our other runners have gone in our Hound Tower. So, Chikorita is in the route to Lake Rage and also Tin Tower. So, do you want to talk about some of the more inaccessible spots in the game? Because I don't think people understand, for example, why we call Tin Tower such a meme, or meme tower.
No, well, Tin Tower you can't get to unless you do Kanto, I think. I'm not sure what you have to do. You have to catch all the roamers and...
I think you just have to have all three of... Actually, you actually have to have Suicune, Raikou, and Entei, like the actual Pokemon.
The actual pokes, yeah, it's just unlikely.
Yeah.
And then there's Silver Cave, for which you need to beat the entire game. So that's not doable in an hour and a half.
And then we have Whirl Islands, which has, I think, like 42 or 44 different slots from all the different counter routes. And then
so if it shows there, you just don't want to try.
It's pretty rough. So we sometimes call those places the inaccessible places. And some other ones that are sort of inaccessible are, for example, Union Cave. If it shows up there, that has 3 different floors.
30 slots, not good.
We also have something like Mount Mortar, which has almost as many slots.
Also known as Mount Meme because of that. The Slowpoke Well is also not great because it has 20 slots, which is quite high. And then you have Ruins of Elf with 17, which is also not great.
Yeah, so Ruins of Elf is really funny because you have 7 that are in the underground part that you don't have to do the puzzles for, but you also have the 7 in the grass patch that kind of is on the way to some of the higher puzzles, the Ho-Oh puzzle, and I believe the Ammonite puzzle. So that's one of the tricky ones. And then there's
3 slots in the water,
right.
Surfing. The little pool. So. And of course, there's also Dragon's Den, for which you need to beat Claire, which you don't really want to do unless
and Ice
it's
Path
specifically
too.
on the card.
Oh, Ice Path is
like
pretty brutal too as
that.
well, because Ice Path has, I believe, 3 different floors as well, or does it have 3 different floors?
3 or 4 even.
3 or 4. It's pretty tricky, but it looks like Easton's going for the defeat the 40. So there's a couple spots where you have a chance to defeat a 40. So there's obviously the Roamer, but there's also the Suicune, if you were to fight it, which, because you're given the clear bell, you can talk to the elders. And then you're also able to defeat the 40 on Claire herself. So the reason why Easton's doing Claire is because you get the Rising badge from her as well. So in this ROM we speed it up so you don't have to actually go to Dragon's Den to get the badge. She just gives it to you.
He's also getting his evolutions done here, which is pretty smart. You get a lot of experience. Oh, he's leaving. I think he's gonna trade pokes to a different Evo.
Yeah.
Kevin getting strength. He's going for that fly now. And Athena went back. I think he's fly skipping.
Ah, so sometimes
He's got teleport.
Sometimes when players are really feeling behind, they'll skip fly. So it's important that you have teleport for that, because the last Pokemon Center you go into will be your teleport slot.
Yes, usually you should only attempt this if you have a watertight route. Where you know where everything is, it's easy to get, and you won't have to do a lot of extra movement. But if you're really far behind, which Athena feels like he is, sometimes it's just, you just gotta try and hope for some luck.
Oh, now this is one of the more interesting things, is that Kevin's actually looking for a Pokemon in Olivine. So Olivine Harbor actually has 2 areas of water that are each 3 encounters. So if you see a Pokemon on the dex marked as Olivine, that's a really good place to go find it. Because
this might mean that Kevin is also trying to skip fly, because he does have a teleport poke.
That's true as well. Although I don't know what Pokemon he's looking there. Maybe he's looking for Articuno Moltres Zapdos there?
Definitely not Scyther at least, but that is the 60%.
Or we think. Some people have very bad luck in finding the common Pokemons very rarely and the very rare Pokemons commonly. But I think we can be safe to assume that Scyther is indeed the 60% Pokemon. Oh!
Oh, he's trying to find a Cyndaquil.
Yes. The very quick evolution to
1 level, and he gets a goal and a bingo.
So I believe Picolax did get fly. I believe Picolax did get fly, right?
That's a good question.
Yeah, so it does look like Kevin is fly skipping.
So Kevin and Athena are definitely fly skipping. Easton is just doing his thing.
It's really rare actually to see people fly skip, so this is a treat to see 2 of them fly skip. I think they were feeling really behind because of how much trouble they were having in picking and grabbing a main.
Athena having trouble finding the Houndour. He has the info, so he knows it's on 35, and he knows 2 other people got it, so he... Oh, there it is. I was gonna say he knew it's in the grass, but he just couldn't find it. And one of these runners had special info on Sandslash Arbok.
That was, I believe, Kevin, who went into Dark Cave and found
Kevin
it.
got the Ghost type on 46. I think Picolax found something in Dark Cave, and maybe Athena found Sandslash, but I could be wrong.
Yes. Mew has soft-boiled. When they have healing moves, that's quite the trolly thing. And oh look, a sack of experience!
Mr. Mime!
Sack of experience! So I think Kevin still has some PTSD from the last time. We all kind of rib him about it, but that Blissey is no funny business. Because it has quite a bit of special defenses and a lot of HP. So if you don't have a physical move, you're gonna have a hard time beating it. Huh, so Athena just got his bike phone call now. So he's been very good about not wasting his time. Or his movement. We have Easton beating Claire and her level 40 Omnite, Hail Helix.
Gets another TM there. And the Master Ball if he wants to.
Yeah, so Tomo, Easton did not find it. So the Starmie was a fishing counter in Union. But there was also a Star U in the cave as well. But Easton repelled all through that thing and didn't pick up the fishing rod.
Easton was very happy with his Snorlax, which is very good.
So who do you think is going to end up winning? Now that we're about an hour 20 minutes in, we're starting to see people kind of fill out the card. We have Kevin in a really good position for, I guess, at least 2 or 3 bingos.
If he can find Protect, Detect, Endure again, he's in a very good spot.
Well, we know of at least 4 different Pokemon that have it. So there's Gloom, Growlithe, the Sunkern, and Weezing.
And Lapras.
Oh, that's right, Lapras, well, as one of the higher level moves, was learning it.
Yes, like level 19 or something near that.
He did see a Lapras at like level 14 Lapras in the route underneath Ekritique. So if he really wants to, he can grab another Lapras there and level it up.
Now? No, he's not. But he is fly skipping, so Easton has an easier time cleaning up this card than the other runners have.
Yes, but he doesn't have as much info as the others. He didn't pick up that random TM, so he doesn't have. Although I guess he might have info on the Hand Tower, he might not know where they picked it up.
Hand Tower was on Bugsy, so he definitely has.
Oh
info.
yes, yeah, right. But we also have to remember that he did also use Falconer's TM, so he has to grab an additional TM as well. And he didn't end up keeping the contest TM, so he'll probably pick up that later. Although, did you know that the bug catching contest has a different item pool set than National Park?
Yes, but just the items, not the TM.
Yeah, I found that out when I was doing a bingo. And unfortunately, when you're in the bug catching contest, you're not able to discard items from your inventory. So I had a full inventory, and bug juice, and berry juice was on the card. And unfortunately, I couldn't pick it up.
Yeah, that sucks sometimes. It usually goes that you want the contest item, and you have to get the other item, and you usually don't go for the national park items because it's quite a way out of the way, and you can't just quit out. So, yeah. I don't know if Easton's gonna try and go for the contest DM because he's quite right there.
Oh yeah, so I think I think Pika has fly. Oh yes, I believe he's gotta have fly, right?
We're gonna find out in about.
Oh, and he's looking for Growlithe, and oof, that's not really attainable. That was Ice Path and Pearl Islands.
Does he know more? He did not take the Gloom either, and he does not know.
No.
It has attacked.
He didn't find that stuff. Ah yes, he does have fly. So we have luckily only 2 runners for my sanity doing fly skip.
Kevin finding the R book.
Oh, well, that's a little bit different.
Yes. Picolax has got the Sandslash info he got earlier. But now Kevin's found the R book. On 31, so you may have seen that earlier as well.
Oh, that's a Starmie in Ice Path as well. East has really not seen his favorite Pokemon at all today.
Kevin having 2 bingos right now, with the 3rd on its way because he has a Cyndaquil for the Kilava goal.
And we have Easton with a bingo, and almost to 2. Actually, almost at 3. Actually, no, that is the second one now that he's catching, that Houndour.
Yeah, Kevin's looking real good right now. Needs to do Rising Badge still, if he's going to go for that, and probably
Wait,
20 TMs.
Did I just see correctly that Bill's Pokemon is Moltres?
Who picked it up?
Picolax has got to be pretty mad about that.
Oh, he already has the goal, yeah.
See, Picolax headbutted for his Zapdos earlier. In case you missed it, he headbutted for it in the forest, so there was no way anyone else would find it. Unfortunately, it seems that the realm sort of conspired against him, and well, made it in a very obtainable place for everyone else to get as well.
He's about to check the trap pokes and the electrodes, hoping to find something on the card there.
And
Athena
maybe...
found an Entei, that's good for him. No,
Oh.
it's not, he already has it.
Oh.
Never mind.
So we have our trap pokes as Ampharos is one of our trap pokes. We can... The other... you know, I don't remember what the other trap pokes are. It's not as immediately obvious to me.
Picolax is listening to the cries. And...
I think it's a Chansey, and well, looking at the stuff, Chansey, Ampharos, it may be a Beedrill as well as the 3rd one, because it's normally a Coughing and Geodude that are the traps, and I believe one of the traps is Voltorb as well.
Yeah, I think so.
But today's electrodes, as you'll see, are Slowpoke, Sneasel, and Lantern. So, none of them really help in the card.
20 owned is on the card though, so you might still just catch them all.
Yes.
Athena getting the Electabuzz on 45. Opting not to do Rising Badge just yet. Also has not released his starter.
I'm sure Athena will do that soon enough, because he does have that wheezing.
Going on 46 now. I don't know if he has info or if he's metagaming. Someone got a poke here.
I believe he's metagaming a poke, or he could just be YOLO stratting. Oh, and there we have Kevin, going for that level 14 Lapras.
Yeah, that's what he needs.
He could pull this
He
off.
needs the Lapras and the Rising Badge, and then I think he's done.
Yeah, I think so.
Or get Phone Book and an Electabuzz Jinx Magmar. There's still some options for him.
Yeah.
You could even skip the Phone Book and get the Electabuzz. Easton finding an Entei with Endear.
Oh, what a joke!
And Athena wins the race by finding the Swag Cargo.
Only if he puts black glasses on it. So, kind of, as you've noticed, there's some Pokemon out here that are kind of, they have sort of nicknames or kind of memes attached. For example, Athena's favorite Pokemon is Espeon. So, we often talk about Athena being Espeon. do you know what Picolax's favorite Pokemon is, or is he really just more of a Do you know if he's just really more of a Pikachu person?
Pikachu or Snorlax, I'd assume.
I think it was one of those. And we have, of course, many of the others in the community who are well known for the different Pokemon as well. So, I'm sure you guys can figure out. Oh, we have someone actually correct us. Pikachu and Munchlax, yes.
Ah, I see. That makes sense.
Of course, you know, there's many to be named. For example, for those who are Keyzeron, you know, there's, for example, Keezabuzz being Electabuzz, and of course, Blessings, one of his favorite Pokemon being Jinx. We have Medician, or Medic, who's Dragonite, and if you've been around here enough, you'll see often people nicknaming the Dragonite Medic Sucks, especially if it's a female Dragonite. So, you know, it's all good fun we have here.
Just like some people have their own strats.
Absolutely.
Who does not want it to be named Garstrats, but alas, it is.
You know, I'll own up to my surf skipping strats. I'm not the only person who's done it, but I think I'm the most recent person to have done it.
There's also a thing known as a horse main, which is a poke you shouldn't run, but you could still do it.
They're most commonly known as not fully evolved Pokemon, or NFEs, but...
Yep, that's a horse main, they're just bad. Alright, Kevin trying to get XP from the sages here.
Oh, look at that! Crocodile
so
on Easton's side. But he's running from it?
I don't know what he's doing.
He's
looking for the Electabuzz. Maybe the Crocodile's just not in his path right now. Because he does not have info on Yama, Piloswine, Oracle, Fable, Wigglytuff.
Speaking of which, I believe Athena was the one who... that's what he's looking for. Remember, he found the Piloswine here. All those at the very beginning.
Actually, Easton is pretty close to finishing as well. He just needs to get the Electabuzz here, pick up TM5, and get the item finder, then he's done.
Does he have 20 TMs? We're gonna have to make sure that they show
he
us
doesn't
our
need
TMs.
20 TMs.
Oh, he doesn't.
He needs the MO5, an item finder, so he just needs to grab those once he finds the Electabuzz, and there it is. So he's like 2 minutes away from finishing right now.
This is, you know, and considering this is about an hour and a half in, that's a pretty good time. I mean, this is our average time, so you know, this is pretty good.
And considering the start of the race, it's been pretty close with the fly skipping going on.
And here we have it, guys. The moment we've all been waiting for, the legendary Kakuna.
Kakuna.
May it rest in peace.
Alright, there's the item finder for Easton.
And
now
there's the Piloswine for
flying to Violet, and he's
Athena. So get ready, and we'll drag him in when he finishes.
He's marked Roar now, but he didn't mark the item finder yet. Oh, there it is. See a dot done any moment now.
We have that
there
dot done. GG.
Meanwhile, Athena getting his Piloswine info.
Alright, so I will drag him in. Once he gets in here. I will have to note the time, that was when... So we'll see how many of the runners decide to continue on. It looks like Athena has stopped.
Yeah, he's still pretty far away, I guess.
And that makes sense. So we'll bring him into a commentary stream. So now that some part both finished, welcome.
Hey.
Welcome
hello,
there.
GG.
Welcome, GG.
GG.
So what did you guys think of the ROM overall?
I almost lost because I didn't find the random pokes that everyone else found early when I just went really fast. And I'm still annoyed that I lost so much time on the Gloom trying to paralyze it, and on Rival 3 because Snorlax kept hitting itself in confusion. But overall, this was not a bad race.
So
My main complaint is not finding a main. When
Speaking
I
of
was
which,
in an row with
Athena.
Stanler and Ho, it never showed up.
Speaking of which, Athena, what was your thoughts on that Mewtwo?
I hate you, Tom. I hate you, Tom.
I'm sorry.
So here's the thing. Mewtwo was on my Rival twice.
It was, yeah. No,
So you
twice.
picked the Growlithe as well?
Yeah, that's why I marked a Protect Detect Endure so late is because I reset it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, so Athena...
It's funny, because I found Protect Detect Endure on Sunkern on 35 while I was going to the Sudowoodo, and then Sudowoodo had Detect, Protect, or Endure, and then the Entei I caught at the end had it too.
Yeah.
And most people ran from it, but Athena also
Weezing
had
has it.
a Weezing. And the funny thing is, the Lapras that Kevin got, he leveled up. Its level 17 move or so was Endure, so he's currently leveling up a Lapras he found to get that extra level.
So, Tom, I forced a Snorlax that only had Thunder Punch, Vital Throw,
12
Yeah, I
or
saw
22
it.
move.
and because Faulkner's TM was Body Slam, it became awesome.
Yeah, I know. It's I thought you would have gone for fishing if you didn't get a good TM, but Body Slam Snorlax pretty good.
Speaking
I was
of
gonna
which, you
check
missed...
Union TM before doing fishing, because Snorlax is actually such a good main, even though it's so slow. Like, at the end, I was having problems running away from things, even though I was level 35, but it's still, like, in my mind, it's an A tier. Like, it's so good.
Oh, I guess
Houston,
I think people are a
if
little
you
confused because you're
you
still
would-
running
You
around.
would get my main.
Oh, Athena's not finished.
Oh no, but he's in here, so
Oh.
I think the others are trying to do it, but
I have my own pass set up, so like I need to get phone book. How many I have?
oh,
Need two more.
I can. Whoops.
Oh,
This is a little bit. This was a little bit premature. I marked it. Forgive me, guys.
Okay, so, a few other important things that happened. I couldn't figure out, or I couldn't metagame some of the stuff these guys found, so luckily I got the Houndour info,
Yeah.
and it didn't take that long to show up. But I'm also happy that I didn't go and pick up a million TMs because, you know, it wasn't on my path.
Well, I'm
and
sure.
I didn't
I'm
waste
sure.
a lot of time early.
I'm sure you found out what that TM was, or the Houndour was, because.
Yeah, I either figured it was either the trade, and then as soon as I saw him mark the Houndour, I was like, yeah, no, it's just the TM that I didn't pick up. Wasn't a
Yeah.
huge deal, and it doesn't save any time because you have to go buy the TMs anyway for the 20 TM goal, and you're probably going to be going back to the mart regardless for evolve pokes. And if you're doing Rising Badge, you need the X items. So
Yeah,
it
so-
doesn't actually save that much time.
I think we're gonna have to avoid spoiling too much about where things are, but I think some of the chat was a little disappointed that you were the only runner to not find out where Starmie was.
Where was it?
Fishing.
No!
In Union. In Union.
Oh,
It
busy
was
fishing.
also in Ice Path.
I didn't need to fish though. I had a Herc. I'm so sad.
I'm way sadder, believe me.
Yeah, it's alright.
Everything's happening. It's...
So,
Athena actually tried to run the Fluffy at the start, so that's...
No, I
what,
just was...
Athena?
No, I was just trying to go fish. That's the only thing I had. I'm still really mad that I couldn't find the Ho-Oh or the Stanley that were on 46.
Yeah, well,
I like Stantler. Stantler's awesome.
Yeah, I know. 1, 2. Wow.
So I'm assuming Cavan can't finish and he's salty because he doesn't have Protect because he released the Growlithe.
yes, and he didn't
Nice.
realize that the Gloom had Detect.
So he's looking
Lee.
for it now?
No, his
No,
Lapras
he's
learned it.
His
Endure.
Lapras learned it, so he's leveling it up one level.
Oh.
He's got level 21 Lapras now.
It learns it at 22.
That's hilarious. So Route 40, is it 44 or 45 was stacked. It had Espeon, it had Electabuzz.
Yeah,
45.
45.
It's 45.
45, yeah. It
It
had
also had-
Entei,
and
it had
Croconaw.
Croconaw, and I didn't. The only other slot I saw was Poliwhirl, which can also be on the card.
Yeah. I never saw the Croconaw. I saw Croconaw on 35 looking for the Houndour.
I didn't see
On
the.
evolving.
Huh.
Chikorita was on the way to Lake of Rage. Oh, by the
what
way,
Kevin
you don't
picked
know,
up-
Easton. I'm fly skipping.
Yeah, you and
kinda
Kevin
figured
are
that.
fly skip. You and Kevin fly skipped. I think you guys were feeling really far behind because both of you were really struggling to find
Yeah.
mains, especially Kevin having
What
a
did he
really
run?
hard time beating that level 9 Gyarados.
He ran an Aurora Beam Clamp Lapras.
Ah, there we go. I think Kevin's
glad-
done.
Yeah, I figured people would get walled on that Gyarados for a little bit, so I just.
I didn't get
I
wall fixed
rushed pretty hard.
All right.
Yeah. The Thunder
Reflect
Punch was
Fluffy
good though.
helped me.
Yeah, it paralyzed, and
Lucky,
then it high rolled. Yeah, it was good.
It's good.
That was a. I should probably.
My way to defeat that was reflect into. No, body slam into Crisis, into then reflect.
So
and heal up.
Athena's just finished.
Yeah,
it
that
up.
was a good good
That
strat
was
as well.
nice.
I liked it.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
had
have to
my
turn
way
off
same with
your,
you to reflect into.
Yeah, you gotta
No,
turn it
body
off.
slam
though,
into
we have to-
Crisis, into then reflect, and
So
heal up.
Athena's just. Yep. So, Kevin, just to relieve you some of your, or maybe to annoy you a little
I'm
bit.
just mad that I could have been done like 15 minutes ago if, when my Lapras had learned Endure at level 22, I had taught it.
A different thing is, you know that Sudowoodo Gloom that had Detect on it?
I saw that and I was like, oh, hey, look, it's a Gloom. I'm funny because I saw that. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to catch it because it already evolved 4 and it's probably going to have Protect, Detect, Endure just to spite me. I was thinking that.
Also, Kevin, the Sunkern on 35 had Endure, and the Entei I found on 45 had Endure.
I never saw either of those. So I ran a really crappy Lapras. You want to know what it started with?
Clamp Aurora Beam.
Snowbear told you.
Uh,
Or
Yes.
you ran it too.
Tom did.
No, I ran the Snorlax with only Vital Throw and Thunder Punch because I could teach it the Body Slam TM after Faulkner.
Yeah. I mean, my Lapras got good at the end because, like, I only ran it because I had a Slam and a Blizzard TM from random pokes early on. So I was like, okay, it's doable. And then it learned Mega Horn. I
Oh.
got it Surf, and there was a Thunder Punch TM in the Mart. So it was good.
Do
Eventually.
not complain about luck.
Ugh.
You are not the one who had to reset contest 8 times.
Yeah,
Oh,
I saw
yeah,
you
you
got
did have
walled
to
on
do
the
that.
contest. That was
Oh.
unfortunate.
I can't believe I didn't win the first time with a level 14 Grastoise. What's the percentage on that?
You were up against 2 pincers.
I'm
that's
gonna go
unlucky.
take a look now at the
I'll check
calculator.
right now. I'm
But Athena lost with that as well, I think, and the 14 Noctowl.
Yeah,
and-
so
I
the
won with the 14. Noctowl.
77.56% chance of winning with a Meganium at level 14.
What was the percent?
77.56.
77.56.
Oh, come on. And what about Noctowl at level 14?
69.29.
Okay, so at least I won with one of the two. Athena didn't win with either.
Well, I had to get knocked out again, but you guys had pretty rough there.
Now, my problem in contest was just finding Cleffa and Igglybuff all over again.
Yeah, that was annoying.
And
So-
I don't know how that works exactly. Did I deposit? Oh yeah.
So their
I had a
happiness.
Kakuna level 18.
Oh.
And I faced Weedle, Kakuna, and something else, and I didn't place. So
So
I don't know how that works.
well, Kevin
I just
knows
like-
what the level 40 Suicune was.
Yeah, I was like, okay, my Lapras only needs, since I caught a second wild Lapras, which was at level 14, I just needed 8 levels. I was like, okay, it'll probably get those 8 levels doing the static 40. But there was no EXP. I think the thing that gave the most EXP was a Kadabra, and then 40 was a Kakuna.
So
Get
the
wrecked.
other rumors weren't especially that helpful either. We had the Fanpy as you saw, and then the other one was Quillfish.
I like Quillfish.
Ugh.
You need to find it. And,
Yeah, this was not a bad race. I will say that I appreciated the card because it wasn't like that bad. The
Yeah,
only
it
problem
was-
I actually had was that I didn't have a lot of information after I
Yeah.
beat Chuck. I think I was
Yeah,
missing 5 poke goals on it total, and after I did Rising Badge, I had a couple more informations, and it helped out.
Yeah, I got really lucky with my info. I got a lot of random stuff, which actually allowed me to fly skip.
Yeah, you were really lucky to find that Jigglypuff as well.
I never get the information I need to fly skip, so I
Yeah.
never fly skip.
I found Mischievous on 36 while looking for a main, and I also found my Lapras there. And I found Jigglypuff in the forest.
Yeah.
Why did you take encounters in the forest?
Because I ran out of repels. Because I had no money.
God.
Because my Lapras was really bad.
Dude,
like,
you
a
got a
22-minute
Slowpoke tail and a Carbos early.
I did
How
not
did you
pick up
not-
either of those items.
Oh, there it is.
I told you, I skip items on 32 and in the cave because they're out of the way.
Those ones weren't even out of the way.
So speaking of which, Easton, do you know what the DVs are for? We've been asked to know what the DVs are for your Snorlax. I believe you
Okay.
might have to.
Let me check. Let me just check this stuff first. 126 bonks. Actually, not bad. How many times did I get crit? 12. Nice.
Oh
Okay.
boy, I've missed 30 moves.
What was the... Oh, you must have
Blizzard?
just clamp a bunch of times.
Clamp missed like 75% of the time, and so did Blizzard and Slam.
Well, you have to remember, Blizzard has an accuracy of 70 only in Gen 2. It doesn't
Yeah,
have
I
the
expected Blizzard to miss.
95%
I
or
expected
100%
Clamp.
chance in Gen 1.
I'm still glad with that race.
Although that
I'm just
Mewtwo,
annoyed at
though.
Protect, Detect, Endure. Yeah, that Mewtwo was terrifying. I learned Mega Horn on the trainer just before the Mewtwo in the well, and the Mewtwo in the well had Thunder.
It had
Yeah, it
Mega
also had
Horn
Mega
as
Horn.
well.
Oh,
And
man.
Dig.
Alright. So here's my stats. 13 attack, 6 defense, 1 speed, and 3 special. So pretty much the only stat I needed was actually good.
It's okay.
I want to know what my stats were.
Wait, Picolax found a roamer. He's finding an Omanyte right now.
No, Omanyte was on Claire. That was the
How
40.
many... Does that finish? No, he doesn't.
Almost.
He has Rising Bats also.
He's just got to evolve 4 different poke.
2, 3... Yeah, he
He's
just needs to
finished.
evolve one. No,
No,
doesn't he?
he's finished.
Oh no,
he's
you're right. He has
finished.
both
Both
diagonals, right?
diagonals called to
All
go
right.
for row 5.
Alright.
Alright, so
GG.
if you want to stop Athena, I know you've been kind of talking with us there and trying to finish up, but it looks like
Okay, go.
Yeah, it's I
mean,
know.
I figured you were
I
kind of
had all
done
the
by the
info I
time you
needed
kind
to
of
finish. It's just
kind of
nothing.
commentary, but we'd love to let you finish as well.
My Lapras was bad.
Oh, hello there,
Attack?
Picolax.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
It's good to see you running. Quite the interesting card, huh?
Yeah, so I recognize that I made a number of mistakes. First of all, I found the Sand Slash a lot earlier than the rest of you thought. It was in
It
Dark
was on
Cave.
31.
Dark
Dark
Cave.
Cave.
Yeah, actually,
Oh.
Athena found Palestine also in 46 very quickly on, but you both were hiding it.
Yep.
No, what happened is I legitimately forgot that it was on.
We thought you were hiding it.
That's why I dexed it right before Faulkner.
Yeah, so
So he thought that I was a lot smarter than I was.
that's okay. We had some interesting stories here. And what did you think about what did you guys think about Picolax marking the status Sudowoodo so much more in advance than everyone else?
I
I
kind
was
of
like,
figured
okay,
it was
well-
either a random poke or one of the phone book trainers early that I didn't do.
Yeah, it had to be a random poke. For a little bit, I was thinking, wait, could he possibly be in the well? But it was way too early for him to be in the well.
So,
Yeah.
so I was running a Lugia, and I
Oh,
did Spread
ew.
Tower for experience. And
What
that's
were
why
you
I found the
running,
Pseudo.
Athena?
He ran.
Faced up Starmie.
Oh, speaking of
man.
which, we were all kind of joking that Kevin, you'd be a little sad that Picolax found your favorite Flareon in Sprout Tower.
I'm mad. What did it have?
I hope you killed
Anything would
it.
have been better than the Clamp
caught
Aurora
it.
Beam Lapras.
No! You're supposed to kill Devil Athena.
Excuse me.
We were all trying to figure out, Pika, like what. I mean, because I guess we found out that your favorites are Pikachu and Mewtwo, but we didn't actually see. Well, we did see the Mewtwo, which was quite brutal.
So what did
Oh,
Lugia
yeah.
have, Pika?
I'm sorry?
What did Lugia have? I didn't see it.
It had Return, Rolling Kick, Mimic, and Sacred Fire. And its
That-
level up moves were crap.
That's not the worst moveset I've ever heard of, but it's not something I would probably run. Lugia sucks.
Pardon my language, by the way. What-
Did
Yes.
anyone else see the Alakazam?
Yes, and it teleported away from me.
Yeah, I caught the Alakazam and used it for
It-
fly
it-
skipping.
it
And I think
was-
that's the thing that had the Blizzard TM.
Actually, yes. Oh, let's see. 1, 2,
Finally saw the 10%.
3, 4.
not
Do we
huge.
have? Wait, Picolax. Do you have? I feel like you didn't have 5. Like I know you're done, but it looks like I think. Oh yes, you do have 5. Yeah, it was the 2 columns. It was hard to see.
It's because he has both diagonals, and it's kind of hard to see with the way it's set up. There's too many
Yeah.
colors.
And then he has column 2 and column 4 in row 5. Sorry, I was just trying to double check. Although, yeah, you guys all had. See, Picolax, you didn't have to struggle with it, but you didn't also figure it out either. But the detect endure, was a gloom. Was that Sudowoodo gloom?
Oh!
But there was also a sun curtain that was very common around the place that had
Yeah,
It's
it as
common
well
on
as
35,
Wheezing.
and the Entei on 45 also had it.
Yeah, that's
And-
what I caught.
And my main, the Lapras, learned it at 22, and I didn't teach it.
So now
And
that all
cost
4
me
of you are
15
there-
minutes.
So now that all 4 of you on, so Pika, you found a Zapdos headbutting in the forest. What did you think when you found Bill's poke was a
Damn.
Moltres?
Are you kidding me? That's how you found it?
I was
Bill's
just like,
poke was a Moltres?
oh my god.
Yep.
It doesn't save me any time, but that's kind of annoying.
So Pika, what did
Well-
you think? I just thought that was amusing because you had this information
I was
that nobody
amused.
else had, and then suddenly.
I'm just surprised that no one else checked that.
No,
It's not in my way.
I didn't
I
need
fly
it.
skipped, so.
Yeah, 2 of you
Ghost
fly
TM
skipped and 2 of you
really
didn't,
fast,
so that
Wait,
was
who's
quite
the other person who fly skipped? Athena?
Athena.
What do you mean?
I was far enough ahead that I didn't need to fly skip.
Yeah, I think you were
Yep.
the only one who actually had a usable main.
I think
I mean,
Ethan
I-
had like a 12-minute Faulkner.
No, I had
It was like 20
a
minutes.
1552
Oh, yeah.
Faulkner.
Yeah, something like that. It
10
was.
minutes was the time I was entering Violet City.
Yeah,
You had
probably.
almost a sub 4.
There
You
we
said
go.
almost had a sub hour chuck.
Finally.
You were at like 104 or 103 when you got fly.
I was 103 when I got fly. I had some issues with Snorlax after
This is
Morty,
annoying.
or actually during like the Morty split and during the Chuck split, so I lost a bunch of time there.
For those of you who didn't know, so Kevin actually found his Mischievous in 36. Would
I actually also randomly ran into Mischievous on 39 going to Olivine.
Wow.
yeah, so
Wow.
That's the best spot.
It's my YOLO
And
spot.
Wigglytuff was also on 37, just below Mahogany. Or Acritique.
Yeah, critique, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't get an encounter there this time, so
Hmm.
it's okay.
By the way, what do you guys think of my HM slave?
What was it?
it was a
Oh,
Starmie.
No!
So you found
That's
a Staryu
called
in the
East of the
cave, but I don't know if you fished up the Starmie as well. Oh no, you did. That's why I had a headbutt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you guys were headbutting with that. So
So Pika, just so
Nice.
that you're caught up, I forced the Snorlax that I found on 29 that only had Thunder Punch and Vital Throw.
I saw that.
If it
Right,
was a
in fact,
female, I wouldn't have attempted it, but because it was male, I figured like if I can get it to headbutt, it'll be good. But I got Body Slam on as the first TM in the game, so
Oh
wait,
yeah.
wait, awesome.
okay.
Yeah, that would have been runnable. Better than
Hmm.
anything, but would be better than that.
So we have all
Lapras.
4 of you guys who are all done, which is all good.
Oh, did
All right, I don't think I have much more to say. Anyone else?
No, it was a good close race. It was
Yeah.
fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was close at the end. It was great.
This was a good ROM card combo. I'm happy.
Yeah. Agreed.
Real
Tomcat,
low-
you're making the cards and ROMs from now on.
Oh, I made the
Right.
card this time, but he made the roll. All right. Well,
Welcome for the mute.
Wrap us up.
all right. So thank you very much, everyone. So please give our full runners a follow. We have Easton, Kevin, Athena Sykes, and Picolax, and then my fellow commentator Tom Tomato,
So
Tomcat Tomato, and I am Snowbear. I'm also the restreamer. So we'll see you all next week. And hopefully we'll have more exciting racers as well. But we'll see you all at the same time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And have everyone a good day, night, or morning, wherever you are. And we'll see you next